My name's Simon Crompton, founder of Permanent Style. In this video series, we're looking at how to maintain and look after your clothes. Today, we'll be discussing shoe care and general maintenance at British shoemaker Edward Green. So there are many advantages to investing in a really high-end, great men's leather shoe. There's the fact that the quality of the upper and the sole and the insole, in fact, will mean that the shoe adapts to your foot over time, becomes more comfortable. There's the fact that you can polish it really well and get a really high shine, and in fact that polish will become more personal to you depending on the methods you use, the polishes you use, etc. And of course, there's the fact that you can repair it and resole it over time, which means it'll last a lot longer. But having this kind of high-end shoe does require a little bit of care and attention with it to get the most out of that shoe. So today we're going to run through some of just the basics of shoe care and shoe maintenance so you know how to get the most out of them. Firstly, this may sound like a simple point, but don't wear one pair of shoes every day. We lose a lot of water through our feet, and leather loses a lot of its integrity when it's wet. Wearing shoes that haven't fully dried out will increase the speed that the lining and insoles wear down, for instance. So rotate your shoes, wearing them every other day at most. It will make a big difference to how long they last. Secondly, use shoe trees. Shoe trees are wooden forms that go into your shoes, often in the shape of the last the shoe was made on. Putting them in at the end of the day helps the shoe dry out and helps the upper, the top of the shoe, retain its shape. One of the ways leather shoes often fail in the long term is if the upper becomes wrinkled, dries out and cracks. Using shoe trees and applying shoe cream regularly will prevent this. However, shoe trees do most of their work in the day or two after they've been worn. So if you can't afford one for every pair of shoes you own, don't worry. You can just put them in the ones you've most recently worn. Thirdly, brush your shoes. This is part of a general routine that is often worth doing at the end of the day, once you've removed your shoes and put in their trees. Brushing down leather shoes removes scuffs and dirt, and means they don't need to be polished as often to keep the same high polish. Use a dark brush for dark shoes and a light brush for light ones. This is to avoid dark polish getting onto a light shoe. Brush lightly but fast. Judge the speed and the pressure by whether the scuff marks come off. On suede shoes, brushing is almost as effective as polishing on leather. Brushing the nap, the hair-like texture, in different directions will get rid of scuffs and bring back the luster of the suede. Cleaning the welt using a small welt brush also removes any gunk or dirt around the edge of the shoe, and applying wax there helps make them more waterproof. Fourthly, how do you store your shoes? Direct sunlight can change the colour of leather. Sometimes this can be a nice look, a vintage-like fading that you sometimes see on shoes in old shop windows. But most of the time you want to keep them out of the sun. You'll also want to avoid dust, as this can dry out the leather. So store them on a shelf in a wardrobe or in a box. In a box you should have a piece of cloth between the shoes to stop them rubbing together and taking the polish off. Lastly, send your shoes for resoling. Don't wait until there's an actual hole in the sole going through to the leather below. Instead, when you see cracks or the middle of the sole feels much softer than the rest, take the shoes to the shop you bought them from or a good cobbler to repair them. Also watch out for the rubber heel or toe wearing down so far that they begin to erode the layer of leather above them. For more practical information and reviews of artisans, check out permanentstyle.com, the UK's leading website on craft and classic style.